On a silent desert night, beneath a sky heavy with stars, an entire nation stood trapped. Behind them was the most powerful army on earth. Before them stretched an endless sea. No weapons, no escape, no hope, except faith. This is the story of the night the impossible happened, the night the sea opened. For generations, the people of Israel lived in slavery under the rule of Pharaoh in Egypt. Their days were filled with forced labor, building cities they would never call their own. Their cries rose from the dust, carrying a longing for freedom. Then, from the wilderness, a shepherd named Moses returned with a message that would shake an empire. Let my people go. Through signs, wonders, and devastating plagues, the power of God confronted the might of Egypt. At last, Pharaoh relented, and the Israelites walked out of bondage, stepping into an uncertain freedom. But freedom came with a test. As they journeyed into the desert, the sound of thunder rolled behind them. Pharaoh had changed his mind. His army surged forward, chariots, horses, and soldiers racing across the sand. Fear spread through the people. Families clung to one another as panic rose. They turned to Moses and cried out in desperation, certain they had been led to their deaths. But Moses stood firm and said, "Do not be afraid. Stand still and you will see deliverance." Before them lay the waters of the Red Sea, dark and endless under the night sky. There was no bridge, no boats, no path forward. Then Moses lifted his staff. A wind began to blow, soft at first, then stronger, until it roared across the waters. All night the wind drove back the sea, and slowly, impossibly, the waters began to part. Walls of water rose on both sides, towering like moving mountains, and the ground beneath them became dry. A pathway appeared where none had ever existed. The people stepped forward. Children gazed in wonder at the shimmering walls beside them. The sound of rushing water echoed as thousands walked between the towering waves, guided by faith into the unknown. Behind them, the Egyptian army charged into the path, convinced victory was near. But as the last Israelite reached the far shore, Moses lifted his staff once more. The wind stopped. The waters surged back, crashing over the chariots and soldiers, swallowing the army that had chased them. In a single moment, the threat was gone. On the opposite shore, silence filled the air. Then voices rose, songs of relief, gratitude, and awe. A people once enslaved now stood free, watching the sea that had become their salvation. The miracle at the sea was more than an escape. It was a declaration that even when the way forward seems impossible, faith can open a path. Because sometimes freedom does not arrive quietly. Sometimes it arrives with the roar of a sea split in two.